Thank you all for being here as we dedicate to our community, the gazebo, the welded sculpture from last year's welding rodeo at Bellingham Technical College, and the garden shed. I would like to congratulate our community-minded businesses and who chose to donate to this project, putting community need before profit. Ferndale Ready Mix, GR Plume, Planet Construction, North Star, The Restore, Morse Steel, Windy Meadows, Evergreen Consulting, and Shira Engineering, and all those who volunteer their labor to build it. I sincerely appreciate all those who have contributed their time and effort to build a community around this garden. Tom Eckert, President of VTC, the staff and students at Northwest Workforce Development Council, and Margaret Curtis, who purchased the welded sculpture that now resides in our garden. Kirk Hayes, for many hours of tractor work, Walter Hagen, our encyclopedia, Peggy and Steve, our documentarians, and everybody else who I'm too nervous to mention right now. Community gardens meet the needs of diverse communities, especially those struggling with hunger and poverty. In a community where a 10-minute drive brings us to a grocery store that's filled with every available and every imaginable exotic food available, it is a shame that people within our community experience food insecurity and hunger. Last year, 1,200 individuals within our community experienced food insecurity and hunger. They visited the food bank. Of that number, 750 were friends and families. With a population of over 10,500, more than a tenth of the population of Ferndale felt they didn't have enough food for an active, healthy life and sought relief at a socially unacceptable food source, the food bank. These numbers are not exclusive to Ferndale. More than 35 million American people lived in food-insecure households during 2005, a conservative measure considering homeless and other marginal peoples were not surveyed. Identified as one of the most modern countries in the world, consider our hunger rates, which are staggering, to those of third world countries where children must stop attending school to go to work to help feed their families, if they even get to attend school at all. Community gardens are not the end to hunger. They provide the land in the community for people to exercise their right to grow their own food. Community gardens redistribute land regardless of economic capacity. They challenge the ecologically and economically destructive policies of agribusiness which put profit before the right to ethically grown and raised food. Community gardens create links across generational and ethnic lines through the universal language of gardens and food. Gardens are unique in that they provide land for all people, immigrants and citizens alike, to grow foods of their choice for the way they want to eat. This garden is dedicated to nourishing the community by empowering its people to grow food sustainably. And please remember on Friday, July 4th, that while we are celebrating our freedom and independence of our country from the yoke of foreign rule, the fireworks that we use to celebrate this inalienable right are made by children who experience hunger on a daily basis and do not attend school so that they can work for pennies a day to help their families. Consider the fireworks that you purchase in the next few days to commemorate our noble ideal are contributing to the very concept our forefathers fought to overcome. Thank you. And I'd also like to thank the City of Ferndale for, without them we wouldn't have this garden because it's their land. And here's Mayor Gary Jensen.
When you have very attractive ladies come present such a great project, it was pretty hard to say no. It was a very easy yes. And it's great. Sometimes it's not fun being mayor, but the last few weeks I've just had a great time because I get to stand in front of some volunteers that are just making Ferndale a great place. And so that's one of the best things about being a mayor. And so thank you. You've made my day a lot better. Sometimes it's not that great. As a child growing up in Ferndale, I lived in Ferndale my whole life, and I would ride my bike past this farm, and this was the Birdsma farm. And it doesn't take much to look around and see that when I was a child, this was a showpiece. You can see some of the existing plants and trees, and this was an incredible farm. It was just attractive. The house was amazing. And so I stood back there and I looked and I go, there has to be a place where the Bergsma family is looking down upon us and smiling and going, thank you to all of us. What a great legacy to their family that this remains this way rather than an apartment building or some other structure. So there's another part of that, is that you've helped a history that was a farm, is now a great garden. So a great thing. So once again, for the second week in a row, I get to say people of Ferndale are very proud. They're very proud. So thank you to all of you.
I'd like to introduce Robin Plume from the G.R. Plume Company. This is her gazebo. Aren't you next, Dick?
Well, yeah, but nobody called my name. I never go anywhere until somebody calls my
Okay,
name.
I'd like to introduce Dick Nord, the president of the Workforce Development Council, and the person that has brought me into, Dick and Gay brought me into the Development Council, and I want him to take a minute to say a few things.
I'm really pleased to be here. Our Development Council represents 4 counties, and Whatcom County is incredibly important to us. You've got such a diverse group, but more important than anything is that I'm a builder, okay? I've been building stuff my whole life, and you guys that put this together, I want to tell you, this is a masterpiece. The Plume family that donated this, and you guys that put this together did an incredible job. My son is in the building business. He used to work with me, and all of you young people that worked on this, and this is a very important part of what we do is facilitate and try to bring things together, and thank you for bringing this group together up here to allow this to happen, because what you did was you took a bunch of the people in the community came together, the city provided some ground, and you guys have done this wonderful garden as a community, and now you've got a gateway to it that wasn't just done by donations from the community, by people that care enough to give this stuff, but by a bunch of young people that care enough to come out and learn a little bit more about the construction business and learn some of the really important details of the construction business, do a dynamite job in a very short period of time and learn an awful lot of stuff, okay? The one thing I'll tell you this, and you believe me when I tell you this, all of those guys, raise your hands, all those guys that worked on this thing, everybody that worked on this thing, raise your hands, okay? Let's give them another hand, will you, please? I will guarantee you guys, this is what will happen to you. In 3 or 4 or 7 or 10 or 15 or 20 or 50 years from now, you will come back and look at this again and you'll say, you know, I worked on that. You'll bring your kids back and say, you know, I worked on this, I built this. This is a big deal. And that's the nice thing about the construction business, and that's why we work so hard to get you young guys involved in it and give you an experience like this. I didn't have an experience like this, but you should see some of the stuff I built. It was a milking stool. But I think it still works. But it wasn't anything like this. And the fact that the community came together and provided the array of materials it takes to put this together and the help it takes to put this together, and you guys took the time to learn and to do it, is going to stay with you the rest of your lives. You will bring your kids and possibly your grandkids back here to look at this and say, look, I built this. And from our group, from the Workforce Development Council, and Robin, thanks for doing such a great job of bringing all these people together. And I know from every citizen that became involved in this and donated something, we're so proud that you guys put this together, because we're going to come back and look at it too, and we're going to remember that you guys did this. And as you go down your career, whether you stay in the construction business or not, the positive work that was done here and the contributions made by this entire community are going to go a long, long way, and you guys are going to carry them there. So that's really all I had to say. Thank you very much for having us and letting us be part of this.